So, since I've been practicing this piece now on my little desert island for a week, I've discovered some things, or kind of gotten deeper into some things, I should say, that I'd like to share with you. The piece has a really amazing, large-scale narrative to it, which I think is first kind of uncovered in the second theme of the first movement. Let me just play that for you. Okay. It's a beautiful theme, isn't it? It has a very simple quality to it. The notes that Dvorak chooses are very limited to what we call a pentatonic scale, which is typical of folk music. And folk music for all of us around the world represents the folks at home. It represents the simplicity of our own culture and our own the nostalgia for a place that we call our own. So I think this theme is very much doing that. The piece was written, by the way, in New York, not in Prague. Dvorak was working in New York as the director of the National Conservatory of Music, and I'm sure he was homesick. This is a time when it took a week to get across the Atlantic on a steamship. So he was going through his own sort of self-isolation, if you will, at the time, not unlike what all of us are going through today. And I think it's interesting, there's an interesting tension in the piece. There's a single moment I'd like to draw your attention to in this theme, and I'll tell you, you'll find out why at the end of the whole videos. So here's this moment in the beginning of the theme. That note is harmonized. The harmony, while we're still playing that note. And that tension that's created at that moment, just in passing, is something that recurs in the piece later on in a very important moment, and I think is a very poignant touch, which is meant to remind us of home.